Hey everybody, happy Friday. So today we are going to make kind of a favorite, especially in like Italian American style restaurants, shrimp scampi. Now you could serve shrimp scampi just all alone by itself. You could serve it with pasta. You could serve the shrimp scampi with a side of pasta. We are going to make shrimp scampi with spaghetti because that's how I like to eat it, and I think that's how you like to eat it too. So the first thing you need for shrimp scampi is a lot of garlic. So I'm going to slice up 12 cloves of garlic, which I already peeled. So one of the really interesting things about Italian food in Italy is there's not a ton of garlic in Italian food when you go to Italy. In America, we use a lot of garlic in our Italian food. Why? I have no idea. But nonetheless, I love garlic, so we are going to put a lot of garlic in this dish. So I'm just slicing this real thin. You could also mince it or grate it on a microplane. Either of those things work too. I like the big slices because I put a little bit of a toast on them, and I think they just add another level of flavor to the shrimp scampi. You could do this with scallops. You could do this with clams. Any shellfish works. You could do it with just regular seafood too. If you wanted to cut up chunks of salmon or halibut or swordfish, you could use the same exact sauce. A lot of the questions too, could I use chicken? Chicken would work great too. Obviously the chicken is going to take a little bit longer to cook in the sauce than say shrimp, which cooks very quick, but it would work. All right, so this is almost cut. Once the garlic is sliced up, I am going to I'm going to put extra virgin olive oil and butter in a pan and get that melting. And the reason we're doing that, we're putting both in, is for two reasons. The extra virgin olive oil brings a lot of flavor to the party. The butter brings some fat, and it also brings the ability to kind of brown things up, add a little bit of nuttiness, so you just get one more layer of flavor. So I'm over medium heat. I'm in a pretty large Dutch oven here, but any large style pan will work for this. We're going to cook a pound of spaghetti. So we have a bunch of water boiling. I'm going to put in about 2 tablespoons, 1.5 to 2 tablespoons of salt in my water. You want the water because remember, the water is going to become part of the sauce. So if you don't season the water, you end up with a sauce that doesn't have any flavor. So spaghetti goes in, takes around 8 to 10 minutes. And go to the spaghetti. Once it falls, I'll give it a stir, and we're good to go. Remember, water, salt. Do not put oil in your water. Don't do any of that stuff. No bueno. So just water, salt, you're good. We give it a stir, and I'll probably give it one more stir to make sure that our noodles don't stick together, and then we're in good shape. When you put oil in the water, it actually puts like a lid on the water and doesn't allow the water to boil. You need the water to boil to cook your pasta right. So, about 3-4 ounces of olive oil.
I didn't even realize you were wearing sneakers today.
You know what? Couple things that maybe I didn't know before isolation or quarantine, whatever. Slippers are not meant to be worn for like 18 hours a day. So mine are in the washer currently. So if you are going to wear your slippers for 18 hours a day, I would recommend that you wear socks with them. That is my Michael Symon free advice of the day. So the butter and the oil are just going to start melting together. And as that is happening, I'm going to add my garlic right to the pan. Now, there's a couple things. It's funny because this dish, I think a lot of people think of this dish as a classic dish. It's kind of an American classic, so I think you could have some fun with riffing on it. Sometimes it has chili flakes in it, which I like. You could also, I have a jalapeno out. I'm probably not going to put it in, but you could put in a sliced jalapeno if you want to add some heat. You could put a couple dishes of hot sauce in there if you want to add some flavor. So, this isn't like a super traditional dish where there's a lot of rules. It's an American Italian dish, popular in a lot of American Italian style restaurants.
Tina's wondering if she should avoid putting her knives in the dishwasher.
Oh gosh, Tina, don't do it ever, 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 ever. It's like the worst thing you could do to a knife. Or pans.
Oh my God.
Never put your knives. It's like a torture chamber for those things.
We're gonna ignore the last 27 years of my life.
Yeah, you gotta get rid of those. Liv, I mean, It destroys a knife. The biggest fight Liz and I have ever got into, probably, certainly top 3, was she put one of my fancy chef knives in the dishwasher. I don't even, oh. Yeah,
Oh,
see that?
Yeah.
That's no good. So we save it just for,
just as a reminder of what not to do.
It's the one thing she's done wrong in almost 30 years. So I say,
Liz, you didn't say that.
all right. So pasta's going. Garlic is. We're not going to let it brown, but as soon as it gets a touch of color, and you could really smell it. It's getting very aromatic now. So I'm going to put in my chili flakes because I want a little bit of heat in there. And remember, when you put the chili flakes in, to kind of step away a touch because you get a pop of heat that'll blow you up. So chili flakes go in. Right when the chili flakes go in, I'm going to put in I'm using white wine. So I'm using about a cup of white wine. You could use stock if you want, or just straight lemon juice because I'm using a little bit of lemon juice also.
Debbie said butter's hard to find for her right now. Could she use the same amount of margarine? Oh, oil.
Yeah, she could just go straight olive oil. If you can't find butter, you could just go straight olive oil. And the starchiness for the pasta water will give your sauce a little bit of body.
And what if you're using pre-cooked frozen shrimp? Susan is doing that at home
If
right
you're
now.
using pre-cooked shrimp, you would just wait longer to put the shrimp in. I'm going to put the shrimp in. I could have put the shrimp in before I put in the wine, which I should have, but it's not going to really matter one way or the other. You would put the shrimp in like you would thaw it, and then you'd put it in the last minute. You don't want to cook it anymore. You just want to warm it through, and you're good. So I'm using frozen shrimp, not cooked. You always put a towel underneath and top when you thaw it, after it's thawed, because you don't want the water. So the shrimp goes in.
How long has that been thawing?
I pulled it out of the freezer this morning. I put it in the fridge on a tray, and then which thawed it just about all the way through, and I pulled it onto here about 10 minutes before we started. So, but it will thaw. These are 25, 30 shrimp. So good pinch of salt. And then we're going to put in, when you are buying shrimp, the way that they will label it is they're going to label it by a number. So these were 25/30s, which means there's 25 to 30 per pound. If 1620 means there's 1620 per pound. U6s means there's 6 per pound. Usually the bigger they are, the more expensive they get per pound. All right. Gotta stir. What else do we got with questions, Liv?
James is wondering how long fresh garlic will last and how do you like to store it?
I like to store it in a cool, dark place, and it will last up to a month if stored properly.
Pamela is wondering, she doesn't have any fresh lemons, but she does have concentrate. How much concentrate equals 1 lemon?
I would thin it with a little bit of water or wine. So if you have concentrate, I would say about a teaspoon equals a lemon.
Okay.
And then take that teaspoon and thin it with about 2 tablespoons of water or wine. All right, flat leaf parsley. This was an optional ingredient. I just like it.
And Janice is wondering if her lemon has turned color, can she still use it?
Should still be fine. As long as it's throwing juice, just squeeze a little, taste it, but you're just going to get a little bit less juice out of it, but it should be fine. All right, flat leaf parsley chopped. Sometimes people like to put oregano in. I don't like oregano with shrimp. That's just me. Okay, so the shrimp is cooked. So I'm going to turn off the heat. I'm going to put in our parsley. And here's the beautiful thing about this dish is if you have your garlic cut, your parsley cut, everything ready, this dish comes together essentially in the length it takes you to cook the pasta. So you could drop the pasta, have everything cut before you drop the pasta, and literally in 8 to 10 minutes you have dinner.
Bill's wondering what the heat on the stove is right now.
Why? It's off now. So now I turned it off, but it was, I had it on like medium high. Let's see how our pasta's looking. It should be just about ready.
Becky's wondering if there's a flavor difference in different shrimp sizes. That was a no, Becky.
No difference in flavor. Sometimes texture. The bigger ones, to me, they get a little rubbery and tough, but not in flavor really. The smaller ones sometimes are a little bit sweeter, but it's more where the shrimp came from. Like, you know, if you can find fresh Louisiana shrimp, they're delicious. Most of the shrimp that we're getting in America is frozen, often tiger shrimp, you know, but there's some that come out of Georgia that are beautiful. So that's where the flavor changes. Okay, pasta. I'm going to start putting this in.
Lizette is wondering how long the shrimp scampi and sauce will last in the fridge without the pasta.
2 days.
All right.
But again, my recommendation to you would be, you saw that this came together in 10 minutes. So I don't think, I would, you know, a lot of the dishes that we've been making, we've talked a lot about Norman. Norman, you don't get any pasta if you're so chatty, Norman. A lot of the dishes that we've been making, we've been talking about freezing them, holding them in the fridge. But this comes together so quick, there's really no need to do that. So we're going to give this a nice swirl and really kind of work that sauce into the pasta. And if I feel that it needs a little more liquid, let me turn my heat back on too. I feel if it needs any more liquid, I have my pasta water. This looks pretty good.
Mary's wondering how you feel about putting cheese with seafood pasta. There's your answer, Mary.
Again, do what you like. Like, I'm not going to get, like, look, I'll be honest. When I was a young chef and people would ask for cheese with seafood pasta in the restaurants, I would get upset. I would be like, come on, what are you doing? Don't put the cheese on there. But then, you know, whatever you like is what is going to make you happy. So if you want to put cheese on it, put cheese on it. Like the Greeks put feta with shrimp and lobster all the time. The Italians do not. I will say this. Do whatever you want to do and to make it how you love to eat it. If you go to Italy or you're lucky enough to go to Italy, don't ask for cheese with your seafood pasta because they'll get upset. You come to my restaurant, I won't get upset. A younger me would have got upset. New me, no problem. You gotta make food that you want to eat, and you gotta, you know, prepare it how you want to eat it. So, okay. So we take this. What else do we got for questions, Liz?
Melissa is wondering if there's any food that you don't like.
There's no food that I don't like, but there are foods that I can't eat. I don't like them for that reason, I guess. Raspberries and kiwi I'm allergic to. So I don't like raspberry and kiwi. They make my mouth itch and my throat start to close up.
It's a fair reason not to like.
It's a good reason, I feel.
Cricket is wondering the difference between prawns and shrimp.
$10. It's all pretty much the same thing. It's like, you know, shrimp scampi. It essentially, we're just saying shrimp.
And there's a lot of people asking, it doesn't matter what kind of pasta you use in this, right?
No, use whatever noodles you have. You know, in normal times when you could find if you're going to the store, you could find all different kinds. I would prefer a thinner noodle, like a spaghetti, a linguine, an angel hair. But in situations like this, whatever pasta you have is the pasta that you should use.
Wow, a lot of people like Parmesan on this pasta. I know,
and that's fine. They could, you know, I'm not going to put any on mine. If you want to put some on yours, you are more than welcome to. One, I don't have any Parmesan right now, so there's that. But yeah, I mean, again, make it how you want it. I'm going to take a little bit extra virgin oil and gild the lily.
A lot of people are asking how many people this feeds. I know it depends
Gosh,
on.
a lot. So we put in 2 pounds of shrimp. So I would say a pound of pasta by itself feeds 4, no problem. In my family, it feeds about 6. And then you have 2 pounds of shrimp. So let's figure everyone's going to get 3 to 4 ounces of shrimp. So I'm going to say this feeds, depending on the people, 6 to 10. But I mean, when you're talking about how many does it feed, a lot of it's who you're feeding. You know, if I'm feeding my dad, Norman found something on the floor. Like, if I'm feeding my dad, you know, this feeds 3. If I'm feeding my mom, this feeds 20. You know, so it depends on how everybody's appetite is. But this is a good Friday dish too. Comes together quick. You can sit down with your family at the table or friends at the table. My dad reminded me today. He reminded me yesterday. Make sure you make fish tomorrow. I'm like, I got it. Hot. A little hot.
Quick Norman break. Norman, there you go. There's your screen time.
Wow. Ooh, that was hot. It's great. Pasta's al dente. You kind of let that pasta finish cooking. In the sauce, again, you could adjust how much sauce you have with that pasta water. Has a nice balance of garlic. Chili flakes have a nice bite to it. I'm also big, if you're serving shrimp in a pasta, don't leave the tails on, because then people have too much work. We devein the shrimp also. Shrimp's cooked perfect. So this is a win-win. I use lightly parsley. Basil would work very nicely in here. Wouldn't be very Italian feeling, but tarragon would work beautifully in here. Even cilantro would work great in here. Like I said, a lot of people like oregano. To me, it overpowers it a bit. But have fun with it. Use different proteins. Doesn't have to be seafood. And if you wanted to make this pasta without anything, just the pasta and no protein, it's great too. It's like an aglio olio. It's delicious. You know, garlic, extra virgin olive oil, lemon juice, pasta water, done. Great. All right, that's it. Tomorrow, I don't know what I'm making tomorrow, but tomorrow is Saturday. So there's a good chance that I may be in my pajamas, but I will be dressed up on Sunday, you know, because that's the day that my father and grandfather insist that I'm the best me. So I will be putting on my Sunday best for Sunday, but tomorrow I will see you at 5. You can get all these recipes at Food Network Kitchen Facebook page, on my Instagram at Chef Simon with the Y, on my Facebook with Chef Simon with the Y, and on Twitter with Chef Simon with the Y. If you make any of the dishes, make sure to hashtag Simon Dinners, because then we could see them, we could repost them, we could talk about them. We've been doing this for 26 days. We've built up this great little community of people cooking along, sharing with friends and family, bringing people around the table. I don't know about you guys, but it's helped me a lot on a daily basis. I hope it's helped you guys too. Dish at a time, day at a time, guys. I'll see you tomorrow.
Bye, Norman.